Hi, everybody. This is Adam Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology. It's July 25th, and I'm sitting down to make a really brief recording talking about Venus's combustion, especially as the moon is in Taurus today, which is Venus's sign. So there's some reception, some mutual reception going on between Venus and the moon sign and the moon in Venus's sign, kind of a moon-Venus day. And at the same time, today in particular, the moon is going into a square with Mars, and Venus is combust. So it's kind of an interesting, tricky little moment that I want to just tell you a few stories about and give you some things to think about, just in case it's helpful. And just to do a little update, I'm in Santa Cruz right now, hanging out with a good friend of mine and a spiritual teacher of mine, a spiritual community that I hang out with, Bhakti Yoga. So I've got the chart up on the screen so you can see it. So let me just point these things out. First of all, you want to be a little bit careful with the moon moving into a square with Mars. This is happening, the rest of today, basically. And what does this point to? Well, first of all, the moon in a Venus ruled sign is, looking for going on a nice hike, enjoying a nice meal. It's very natural and looking for harmony, enjoyment, beauty, desire, sensuality. That's the moon's mood. It's going into a square with Mars, which means there may be some struggles around control. For example, when you have a group of friends together and everybody has a different idea about what to do that would be the most enjoyable and relaxing, and sometimes not everyone's going to see eye to eye, or people have different needs, or there's conflicting desires. And then there might be some power struggles or need to control the situation in one way or another. Well, this is so important to me, or this is important to someone else. So some of those conflicting issues can be seen through the moon's contact with Mars and Leo today. Issues around control and authority, and also who's going to make everything nice and lovely, right? It's kind of like underneath everything, if you've ever had a group of people together in a kitchen cooking, everyone wants to make a nice meal, but there's too many, what's that phrase? There's too many chiefs in the teepee. I've heard that phrase used before. There's too many big personalities who have a sense of responsibility or authority or the need to control and make something nice and beautiful. So you could watch for that today. That's just a simple way of looking at it. Also, just anything around family, home, women, mother, family dynamics, and conflict. So those are all potential issues to think about just for the rest of today. Now, the other thing that's happening is the moon is moving into a little bit of a sextile with, it's going to flow through these pretty quickly, but some sextile energy to Mercury and to Venus. Now, again, with Venus in particular, there's mutual reception with the moon, which means that moon-Venus energy is really nice. So how to reconcile this, right? The moon-Mars, there might be some struggle or some challenges relative to something that you're trying to do that should be nice, that should be enjoyable, that should be good for all, or that should be pleasurable or romantic. So be careful not to shoot yourself in the foot while trying to do something that should be pretty low key or easygoing. We see this amplified by Moon Venus's contacts, like they're really trying to do something nice together. Now, on the other hand, Venus is combust, and that means her light is being compromised by the sun's. And so as that happens, you can see that right here. As that happens, the Venus is sort of losing a bit of autonomy. So here's an example. Right now, back home, our kitchen is being redone. We are having our kitchens and bathrooms redone and trying to get the house ready to sell in the next year, maybe two. So at any rate, the worker called me this morning, and I'm out here in California, and basically said the particular tile or whatever, the flooring that we wanted, is not in stock. And so what to do about the fact that the flooring is not in stock? Well, when that's not in stock, then you got to rethink the coordination of all the other pieces, like the cabinets and the countertops or whatever, all these different colors. And so then I had to suddenly interrupt my morning meditation, to get on the phone with my wife and then kind of get into, how it is when you're trying to pick colors and stuff like that with someone, and both of us have like opinions. Do you know what I mean? And then the kids are screaming in the background and I'm kind of annoyed because I just had to interrupt my meditation in the morning. You know what I mean? So it was I was like, oh wow, it's so perfect with the astrology this morning. And that's what saves me constantly, is just being able to see like, yeah, these are the modes of nature. This is the flow of the energy. That's just where it's going. And I'm a fish in that stream, helps me to not fight with it so much. So at any rate, Venus is combust. The potential to make a horrendous choice about your wardrobe, a bad facelift surgery, anything like that is possible right now with Venus combust. There's a little bit of a saving grace element in the air right now for not doing something foolish with the Venus energy, which could mean compromising a friendship, having struggles with friends or relationships, having struggles in romantic life, having struggles in family harmony, or even things related to beauty in the home, the body and women and mothers, and struggles around that, contentions between mothers, stuff like just like Venus troubles. You could have some Venus troubles in the next few days, like the next week. Right now, in the next 24 to 48 hours, there's a little bit of a breeze coming through that's going to potentially help avoid a problematic situation. So my wife and I were able to figure out, I'm just going to give you this rest of the story because it's such a nice illustration. We were able to figure out, okay, now we've picked everything new because they were out of stock with the flooring we wanted. So we had to rematch everything and do this over the phone and pictures being sent and all this stuff. And then the guy gets to the store, right? And he says, oh, they actually have the stuff that you wanted. All right, so disaster averted, right? But no, because he had gone ahead and picked up the stuff, not asking, do you want to stick with the new stuff you chose, or do you want to go with the original choices that you made? And my wife wanted to go with the new stuff that we chose because she actually liked it better than the original stuff the original patterns and colors that we chose. So I said, actually, we want to stick with the new stuff. So then he had to go back. Do you see what I'm saying? What a conundrum. This is a very small and really insignificant story. But the point of this story is that you can see how like the mistake that at first seemed like an inconvenience became an opportunity to upgrade something to make it more beautiful. Then there was a second level of mistake made. Got Mercury retrograde close to this Venus right now, right? Then there was a second mistake that was made, and that mistake was in getting the original stuff without asking us if we wanted to go back to the original stuff or not, right? So this kind of back and forth was navigated with a little bit of egos bristling on all sides for all of us, right? But it ended up okay. That's because the moon has that mutual reception with Venus right now, and the moon is exalted in Taurus. There's some disruption with Uranus in the field of Taurus right now. There's some disruption with Mercury retrograde with Venus. There's a potential for Venus things to be compromised because of the combustion to the sun. But again, we have this really nice little window with the exalted moon, where the exalted moon's mutual reception to Venus can harmonize despite the chaos. So look for that in the next day or two, and don't think that you can put off having to coordinate challenging things to find peace until later, because if you try to do it later and not now, it's going to get more hectic over the weekend. Why? Because then the moon's going to head into Gemini, and as soon as it heads into Gemini, Venus doesn't have the help of the moon anymore. So let's see exactly how long this little period of time lasts. So we're going to, oops, here we go. I'm just going to take it forward a day. You've got a full day at least to take advantage of this. And you're going to see the mutual reception itself is going to happen Saturday morning pretty early. But you should be able to feel the effects of that all the way like through Friday evening in particular should be really nice, and then into Saturday morning. But if you're still trying to figure out Venusian things that are kind of breaking down, and you don't take the time in the next, between now and Friday evening, it's going to be trickier to try to negotiate those things going into the weekend when, the scatteredness, the scattered tendency of Gemini moon is going to come in and make things more like throw it all up in the air a little bit more. So just a little simple update. So I hope that that's helpful for all of you, and I'm just doing a brief update today to give you guys something to think about for the midweek here, and I'll be back to the East Coast on Monday, and we'll be back into a pretty good regular flow for a couple of weeks after that, and hopefully we'll be doing more written content at that point as well. One of the reasons that it's hard for me to do written content right now is that most of July I've been dealing with health problems and then traveling, and it's harder for me to do written work while traveling because I really need I kind of need my morning rhythm to be a little bit more focused to get into. It takes a lot longer for me to write than to do a quick video. So, but written content will be coming back soon for those of you guys who have been waiting for some. So I hope you're having a great day, and hope that this was helpful. Make sure that you take advantage of the energy to coordinate messes and make things come out looking nice while it's there for you the next couple of days. All right, take care. Bye.